Hey guys, Marsinkin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so the JP Dokkan account has tweeted out the information for the upcoming EZAs for TEQ Vegito Blue and STR Rose. These are probably two of the most anticipated EZAs that we've seen in quite some time. For me personally, I've already mentioned like a few times, we talked about it on the podcast and stuff, but for me, I'm super excited for STR Rose EZA. I feel like as long as he is good enough, he's going to be that unit that you just run on every single team that he can be run on. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Obviously, we're going to get the translations up here. The one thing that you can notice straight away is the leader skill is 4 key and 140% to stats, which is maybe a little bit on the low side. I would have liked to see at least 150, because obviously we see summonable LRs nowadays coming out with 150%, and people are starting to complain that that's too low now that we're moving into the 200% leader skill meta. So 140% is a little bit disappointing. I feel like it could have been 150. Because as far as I can tell from what I've seen so far, this extra bit of text at the top, they are keeping the restriction that you have to have a unit of each typing. So considering we have leads in the game that are 150%, I think 150 would have been fine if you are keeping that restriction. But let's go ahead and have a look at... We're going to start off with my boy Rose, obviously, because, like I said, he is the one that I am most anticipating. So shout out to our boy Minato for the translation for Goku Black. So, leader skill, extreme class 4 key, HP attack and defense 140 when team includes all 5 extreme types. So exactly what we were saying before. Maybe it is a little bit low, but I guess at the end of the day, when it comes to these two units, unless you're just messing around or making like theme teams for fun, you're probably not going to be using them as the leader anyway. So I guess it's not really a huge deal. So his super attack greatly raises defense for 1 turn. So that's a 50% stack. So that's very good. Causes immense damage and raises allies' attack by 30% for 1 turn. So he did that previously. I don't know if it was 30%. I think it was. At worst, it was 25. But he still has that attack boost on super attack for the rest of the allies, which is obviously good if he's in slot 1 or 2. For that little bit of extra damage for the other units on the rotation. And then his passive skill is attack and defense 150%. So good start of turn amount. Extreme class allies 3 key and defense 50%. So that's going to work really nicely with, he's obviously giving himself that as well. So 200% defense and then the 50% raise on super attack. So defensively, looks like he should be pretty good. He also gives extreme class Realm of Gods allies attack 50%, super class enemies attack and defense minus 30%, and then he gets an additional attack and defense 50% and attacks super effective against all types when delivering the final blow. That's interesting. So with the numbers that this guy can hit, his attack stats, I'm trying to think, like, I don't know if his attack stats will necessarily be the craziest, because he doesn't raise attack at all on his super attack effect. Obviously, he does get the buff himself, though, from... I guess that is part of his super attack effect, right? So it's not the same as, like, greatly raises for defense, but he should be getting that 30% buff himself. And then, of course, he is an Extreme Realm of Gods unit, so he is getting the 50% attack from his passive. So, obviously, what you ideally want to do is be able to very early on, if it's a long-form event, or if it's in Super Battle Road, obviously, like the first enemy you take out, you want to try and make sure that it is this STR Rose finishing that unit off, because then he's going to get an extra 50% attack and defense as well as be super effective, which is obviously going to be really good for the rest of the event. If it is a long form event, the fact that he's now super effective against all types. But with the support that he's giving and the fact that he greatly raises defense for 1 turn on super, you could put this guy in slot 3 and defensively he's going to be really good. You're going to miss out on the raises the allies attack by 30%, but I mean, if you're running Extreme Realm of Gods allies, he's already giving them 50%. This means with Extreme Realm of Gods allies on the same rotation, if you attack with this Rose in slot 1, Extreme Realm of Gods units are getting 80% attack. So I brought up the Realm of Gods page here. Now, some of these units, we need better team builds for them and stuff like that. But look at these units. Like, these guys, they skipped out their EZA potentially for this celebration. Who knows? Maybe it'll come in part 2. But like obviously, but this is the one I'm looking at right here. Our boy Meki Cabra. Once we get some better teams, like a proper 200% Realm of Gods or something like that, this guy right here is going to be eating off of this STR Rose. It's going to be so good. Obviously, this AGL Goku Black, everyone's been sort of talking about him lately and how he's not as good as they potentially expected him to be. But with this STR Rose EZA, he's going to be way, way better now. So that is pretty cool. AGL Zamasu, future EZA, like he'll be doing good off of this. These guys, future EZAs, like this is pretty cool for the STR Rose to give that extra buff to Extreme Class Realm of Gods. Because Extreme Class Realm of Gods is pretty small, but a lot of these units, especially the other Goku Blacks and Zamasus, especially when we start getting some of these EZAs, obviously they are going to wind up being the best rotation partners for this STR Rose anyway. So definitely seems like he is going to be pretty damn good in game. The final blow to get super effective and a buff seems kind of weird when, for the most part, his kit is that of a support unit, but I do think his numbers are good enough that you can quite easily run him on main rotation. I don't know if you would want him in slot 1 before you're getting this attack and defense 50% buff. Once you get that, it'd be interesting to see what his start of turn defense is, because then he could be okay in slot 1. He's never going to be like, you know, top slot 1 unit or anything like that, but obviously, if you want to get this extra attack buff for the allies from his super attack, you're going to want to put him in slot 1. So, other than that, I think he's looking pretty good. So, let us go over to Vegito Blue. Okay, so Goresh beat Minato to the punch for posting the Vegito Blue translation, so shout out to the homie. So obviously the leader skill is the same except for super types, 4 key 140 as long as you have one of each typing on the team. And so his passive is defense 150%, defense 50% when attacking, performs 2 additional attacks, each of which has a medium chance of becoming a super attack. Attack 20% for each attack performed, max of 200%. Key plus 3 and medium chance to perform a crit in the same turn where an attack is received. Interesting. So, extra key and a medium chance to crit if you put him in slot 1, which is interesting because he's got defense 150 and then he gets an extra 50% defense when attacking. So let's look at his super attack effect. Raises attack and defense and disables enemies' guard. Does immense damage. So this is kind of interesting because he infinitely stacks both attack and defense. But he wants to be in slot 1 if you want to get that bonus crit chance. But his start of turn defense, especially on turn 1, is only going to be 150%. So the interesting thing about this guy is you probably don't want to put him in slot 1 straight away. But that's fine because, you know, depending on who you've got him linked up with, it shouldn't be an issue to get key. And the medium chance to crit, it's a nice little bonus thing to have. But you think about early on in the event, you actually want him to attack more times so he can build up more. So it sounds kind of weird, but in those early turns, you probably want him to get less crits so he has the chance to do more attacks, so he doesn't kill the enemy too early. Because I know people wanted him to have a big start of turn attack and defense, but he's always been a unit that has multiple additionals and can build up his attack. So I get why he doesn't start the turn with any attack. But he gets 20% for each attack he performs, and you got to remember the 2 additional attacks that he performs are guaranteed normal attacks. So even if they don't convert into supers and you don't get the hidden potential additional, let's say worst possible RNG turn, he still attacks 3 times in the first turn. So that's immediately giving himself a 60% attack buff for when you go into the second turn. Then it goes straight up to 120, then 180, and then obviously 200. So if you get even 1 hidden potential additional during those turns, it's going to be 3 turns until he's fully built up in terms of attack. And then because he's infinitely stacking defense, once his defense gets to a reasonable enough level, then yeah, you can put him in slot 1, and now all of a sudden he's also getting a medium chance to crit on the on all of those super attacks. So definitely looks very, very good. Obviously, the way he always was is he's a unit that needs to build up. Hopefully he doesn't build up too slowly. We'll have to obviously see from the showcases once the data download comes out, but definitely look like he could be pretty good. He is obviously the damage dealer of the 2. He's going to be able to build up his defense as long as it's, you know, he has enough time to stack. to be quite good. So it's hard to say which one I would say is better, because they both do different things, and obviously they're on, you know, you can run them on the same team, but they're not exactly designed to synergize well together. But yeah, I'm definitely happy with both of these on paper. I've already seen people saying Rose seems a bit weird because of his certain choices they made, but I definitely do think he is going to be very, very good. I'm really looking forward to seeing the numbers that they put out in-game and everything. So let me know what you guys think down below of the EZAs for Rose and Vegito Blue. I'm definitely excited. As soon as we find out what the weakness category is for their Extreme Z Battle event, obviously I will put up a team building guide, so keep an eye out for that one. And let me know which one you like the most out of the two. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.